Many people today ask a simple question: why do Muslims and Jews fight? Some think it's because of religion or because they have always been enemies. But the truth is much more complex and far more human. Islam and Judaism are like two branches growing from the same ancient tree. Both believe in one God, both honor many of the same prophets. Both share thousands of years of history, culture, and sacred stories. So how did we go from shared roots to conflict? Some point to early disagreements in the time of the Prophet Muhammad in the city of Medina. Others point to the modern struggle in Palestine, where land, identity, and deep emotions collide every day. These moments in history shape the way entire nations see each other. But here is the real story. Muslims and Jews were not always divided. For centuries, they lived together, learned together, and defended one another. This isn't a story of two enemies. It's a story of two families who forgot how close they once were. And maybe it's time to remember. To understand the tension, we must return to the 7th century, to the city of Medina. When the Prophet Muhammad arrived there, several Jewish tribes already lived in the region. He invited them into a pact, a shared community, a promise of mutual protection and respect. They prayed differently, but they lived side by side as neighbors. But politics? Politics can turn neighbors into rivals faster than any belief ever could. Some tribes disagreed with the growing influence of the new Muslim community. There were alliances, betrayals, and power struggles, like in every chapter of human history. And these conflicts became part of the memory of both peoples. Yet even then, Islam honored the prophets of Judaism. Moses, David, Solomon, all respected, all loved. Muslims faced Jerusalem as their first direction of prayer. That's how close the connection was. So the question is not, why did they disagree? Because every community in history has disagreed. The real question is, how did those early disagreements echo for centuries and make us forget how much we share? This is not just history, it's a reminder that conflict starts small, but peace can start small too. Did Muslims and Jews ever live in peace, and not just for a short moment, for centuries? In many parts of the Islamic world, Jews found safety and respect when they had nowhere else to go. Under Muslim rule in Spain, in Andalusia, Jewish poets, philosophers, and scientists reached a golden age. They wrote, they taught, they shaped the world. In the Ottoman Empire, when Jews were expelled from Europe, the Sultan welcomed them. He gave them homes, markets, and protection. Their music, their knowledge, their creativity became part of Muslim cities. Side by side, they built libraries, translated ancient texts, healed the sick, and searched for truth, not as enemies, but as partners. History tells us something important. When Muslims and Jews work together, civilization rises. When they respect each other, knowledge flourishes. When they share life, peace feels natural. So the conflict we see today is not destiny. It's not the full story. It's only one chapter. And maybe it's the chapter we are finally ready to turn the page on. If Muslims and Jews once lived together in peace, then why does the conflict feel so deep today? The answer lies in a place that both communities love, the Holy Land, Palestine. For Jews, this land is the heart of ancient promises and history. For Palestinians, Muslim and Christian, it is home, memory, and identity. When the modern state of Israel was created in 1948, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians lost their homes. They became refugees, scattered around the world. Israelis call it independence. Palestinians call it the catastrophe, al-Nakba. Since then, every generation has grown up with fear, loss, and walls, literal walls, separating two peoples who both feel they belong to the same ground. And Jerusalem, a city sacred to both faiths, a symbol of heaven, but also a trigger for conflict on earth. This is not a story of religion attacking religion. It is a story of two peoples holding tightly to the same future, a future they both believe is rightfully theirs. The tragedy is this: both sides are fighting for safety, dignity, and a place to call home. And that means this is not a conflict that must last forever. It is one that needs understanding and courage to finally end. This often surprises people. Islam and Christianity also have deep theological differences. They disagree on prophets, scripture, and the nature of God. So why is that disagreement not burning like the one with Jews? The simple answer: there is no major active land conflict between the Muslim world and the Christian world today. No daily struggle over borders, homes, and sacred sites shared by both communities. When conflict becomes political, when it becomes about survival, hearts harden. Fear takes the lead. Another reason is history itself. Muslims and Christians have lived side by side for centuries. In Turkey, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq. Not as strangers, but as neighbors. They work together, trade together, and intermarry. Familiarity replaces suspicion. And most Christians today see Islam not as an enemy, but as another global faith followed by millions. Dialogue may be difficult, but respect is possible. So, what does this teach us? When people share land without trying to control one another, when they see each other every day as human beings, not headlines, conflict becomes optional, not inevitable. When fear and history mix together, misunderstandings grow. And many Muslims and Jews today don't actually see each other. They see the shadows of the past. Some Muslims believe that Jews are against Islam, but many Jews respect Islam deeply. They know Muslims honor the same prophets, the same God. Some Jews believe Muslims hate them no matter what, but many Muslims wish for peace. They just want justice for Palestinians and dignity for every family. There's another misunderstanding. People confuse Judaism, the religion, with Zionism, the political movement. Not all Jews agree with Israeli policies, and criticizing a government is not hatred toward a people. When we remove the labels Arab, Jew, us, them, we find something simple underneath. Mothers who want their children safe, fathers who want to go to work without fear, young people who want to dream without borders. The misunderstandings are large, but the common humanity is larger. When people see Muslims and Jews in conflict, they often say, it's religion. They just can't get along. But that's not the full picture. Islam and Judaism are not enemies. They share prophets, ethics, and a belief in one God. Their sacred texts guide toward justice and compassion, not endless war. So why does the conflict continue? Because today's struggle is not about scripture. It is about land. It is about home. It is about rights, borders, freedom, and fear of losing all of them. Politics can make even brothers fight, and when political trauma lasts for generations, people begin to think the other side is their eternal enemy. But step into any marketplace in Jerusalem, any neighborhood in Morocco or Turkey, and you will still find Muslims and Jews drinking coffee, laughing, working, simply living. The truth is clear. If the land were at peace, the faiths would be too. This conflict is not destiny. It is a political problem waiting for human courage and human empathy to solve it. So what if we stop looking at this as a story of enemies and start seeing it as a story of a family that lost its way? Muslims and Jews pray to the same Creator. They cry over the same holy city. They both carry thousands of years of wisdom, art, and love. Imagine a future where a Muslim child and a Jewish child can play together in the streets of Jerusalem, without checkpoints, without fear, without labels. Where rabbis and imams sit at the same table to discuss how to heal their communities, instead of how to protect them. Where history becomes a lesson, not a prison. Peace is not a dream, it is a direction. Every act of understanding moves us closer. Every word of kindness breaks a wall. Every handshake writes a new chapter. This is our generation's chance to end a cycle of pain and begin a cycle of hope. Because in the end, Muslims and Jews are not meant to be rivals. They are meant to be neighbors, partners, and friends, once again.